Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis, Monday the 17th of July. As always, before we get started, please understand that any advice in today's session is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Okay, let us kick off a little bit of a quick wrap of what's happened the last week. We had a period there where the euro went gained in momentum. It was caused by Mr. Draghi's hawkish comments regarding that they would be starting to taper their monetary policy uh, endeavors, so to speak, which basically essentially means that, as you all know, quite a few years ago, the Eurozone was in quite a lot of trouble, and basically to stimulate the economy, what they did was they aided the economy by printing money, essentially. So Mr. Draghi is now saying that things are starting to look good and they're starting to come back into line, and they're considering or they're thinking of removing not it's all the stimulus, but definitely reducing it. So as it caught the market quite unaware, and the euro shot up during the week, and it's had a really good rise of recent times. Now, it is important to note that traditionally the way that Mr. Draghi does his business is usually they pre-warn the market, and this is what appears to be happening, that is letting them know before the actual decision comes along and actually takes an impact. So by the time that they are actually in a position to start reducing their policies, well then effectively it doesn't have the massive impact that, for example, the Japanese government has when they totally surprise the market. So this is something that's been happening, and we need to be aware of that. From the US side of things, basically the US dollar tanked towards the end of the week. Miss Yellen basically disappointed. She did not reconfirm what she had said earlier in the week, and also bad data didn't help. The US dollar's lost ground pretty much against everything. Investors are starting to get nervous, and they're starting to see where it's going to go. So moving into this week, I think the major focuses in terms of events that are going to be occurring. If we start off, we have the Japanese yen with their monetary policy rates. Nobody's really expecting a rate change, but we never know. They've been on negative interest rates for a while, and we never know. Last week also Canada increased rates, the US has increased, and it seems to be a momentum that central banks are looking at increasing rates. So it's more important to see what their statement says and how they feel about the economy. And this could be a market moving event. Okay, so look out for that. That's on Thursday, Japanese yen. The more important one, or the one that's going to have perhaps a little bit more impact in the market this week, is of course from Europe. They have their press conference and their monetary policy statements, as well as their interest rate decisions. So the focus is really on this policy. What will Mr. Draghi say? We kind of hit a bit of a head wall at that 115 level. And the question now remains, as I've already mentioned, has he already started to prepare the market for the news that he's about to deliver? So if he should disappoint, or in this conference there should be some kind of disappointment, we could see all that gain lost just as quickly as it was made. Okay, so the euro Thursday evening, 9:45, it's their rate decisions. Aussie dollar, we have our policy meetings. The minutes will be released on tomorrow, Tuesday, 11:30. It's important to note here that it's no secret that the RBA does not like our Aussie dollar to be as strong as it is at the moment. We've just clicked over 78, or we're there or thereabouts. So we need to remember that last month when they delivered their minutes, pretty much they killed the momentum of the Aussie dollar. So the question remains now, will it happen again? Okay, so it's a tough one. Aussie dollar's made a lot of ground, particularly off the weakness of the US dollar and positive news from China and data itself that was not overly great, but it wasn't bad. So the minutes are going to be important just to see what tone they deliver, and will our Aussie dollar remain at the heights that it's at the moment. We also have unemployment and rate. Unemployment changes delivered on Thursday. Looking at the cable and the GBP, we have CPI early in the week, as well as Mr. Carney speaking, and later in the week we have retail sales. Now, from the UK side of things, Brexit negotiations are progressing slowly. There's no dramas at the moment, and it appears that if data continues to be positive, the Bank of England's optimism will continue to stay on the hawkish side, and in essence it's going to favour the sterling, and we could continue to see the GBP rise. It has broken that critical 130.50 level against the US, and currently at the moment I think we're just over 131, and we'll have a look at that in a short moment. From the US, quiet week this week, perhaps it may assist the US dollar. We just have the oil inventories and the building permits on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So those are pretty much the highlights for the week. I think because of the nature of the news that is being delivered, the currency that's probably going to be most impacted by data releases alone is going to be the Aussie yen. Okay, so just keep a note on that. All right, before I get onto my charts, quick update. I just had a little bit of a controversy with my own staff. I asked them, did we trigger a trade on the trading challenge? Did we not trigger a trade? And I said, I'm sure that I called the trade out, or I pointed one out. I've gone back through the videos and it happens. Yes, I did. US yen, and I'll show it to you when we get to the US yen. But the bottom line is we've triggered, oops, sorry, I've gone the wrong way. We've triggered another trade, and the trade was the US yen. I'll update it correctly. But via method 1, we've now 12 trades complete. We're at plus 1500, and via method 2 we're at 1750. Of course, that's total profit on a $5,000 account. Take in 5% risk per trade. All right, let me bring my charts forward now, and we'll get started. Okay, if you have any questions, please type them in. As I see them, I will address them for you, and we'll try and get through this and navigate this trading week. All right, Aussie dollar, here we go. Okay, remember we drew, well, actually last week I believe it was a pre-recorded session. Can someone just confirm for me? I'm like 97% sure it was pre-recorded. I got caught up in a few things, in a couple of meetings that I couldn't get out. So yes, it was. Thank you, Simon. Okay, now I did draw these lines on my charts. It's no secret that the breakout trader in me, I don't feel the magic as much. It's a little bit psychological. It's one of my what shall we call it, deficiencies as a trader. But if there are any breakout traders, this is an example of it's not the greatest, it's not the perfect breakout candle, but it's pretty good. The important things to note is it takes out that high, and the wick on this level is relatively small. So if there are any breakout traders, perhaps you enjoyed that ride. I don't know, did anybody take that just out of curiosity? Because I know that there are some breakout traders in our group. Can I get a show? If anybody's taken it, can I just get a confirmation on that? No? Okay, because I think I did talk about it, the options. We didn't get the inside candles to try and shoot it down, so no dramas. Now, the only thing that I'm noticing now, and you can already probably see on my charts, I've got an area grayed out up there. Let me zoom out. Let me show you. Let me get rid of this top line now. Okay, I'll keep the bottom one there. I don't mind it. Okay, now it is clear from my top that we have 1 point there and 1 point there. It's not really what we would call a double top, because a double top, a proper double top, has nothing in between. So like if it went just straight from there down and then straight to there, that would be considered a proper double top. Now there's a whole bunch of things that are in the way, but nevertheless, it is a psychological point. The last time the Aussie dollar was at these levels was, let me just check, when was this? This is roughly 2016 April, so it's over a year and about 3 months that it was at that level. The market has great memory, so it's not a double top, but it's an area that could become resistance. So is it worth trading? What do you think, guys? Is strictly off the level? I would say no. But what about if we got the correct price action reversal pattern at that level? Would we be interested in trading that? Yes or no? What do we think? Okay, let me just say I've got like lots and lots of yeses, and I've got one person saying a small punt. Okay, now remember one thing, just to let's correct our language. Okay, we don't punt, we trade probability, guys. Okay, so and if your trading rule says that you're allowed to do this, well then let's do it. All right, so with that in mind, I'm interested in this trade. I really am. So let me just see if it's ready right now. So let me zoom in. Okay, so there we are. So essentially, we're not ready yet. We need to wait for the current candle to finish. Now, should, let's say this is the current candle. Let's pretend that this candle finishes like this today. Okay, I don't know what it's going to look like, but if it does, then tomorrow you will see the fractal up here, and then you can trade an inside candle off the break of that low to go into this direction. Okay, so it'll be an absolute correct setup. So pretty easy Aussie dollar this week. All we're going to do is we have to wait for the current candle to finish, and if we do get the inside candle, well then we can place our pending order tomorrow straight away. Okay. Okay. Quick comment. Fabio saying Aussie's too high for import export. Absolutely. It's RBA. It's no good for Australia to have a strong dollar. It's only good for us when we go on holidays. That's pretty much it. Okay, so ideally, in an ideal world, the Aussie dollar trades at about 68, 70-ish. It makes our exports of our minerals and our resources viable. There's a viable option, and basically assists everybody. Okay, all right, Euro USD. But I'll make this one point, Fabio. I don't recognize your name, so I think you might be new in the class. I will only trade it not based on the fundamentals. Okay, I probably trade fundamentals 5% of the time, but I trade the technicals 95% of the time. But it always feels good when I get a technical setup that favors my fundamentals. Okay, so just pointing that out. Okay, we all love that warm, funny, fuzzy feeling when our technicals put a trade that favors what we fundamentally believe to be true. Okay. All right, Euro USD, what have we got? Okay, Euro USD, you can still see that I've got this section marked out on my chart. Will it ever come back? I don't know. Am I looking for it? I don't know. I'm just kind of leaving it there. It's a memory bank. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let's take a closer look. Okay, I've marked out this region. I'm picking up this level, and we're getting close to it there. So I just want to just check in history how far back this particular one is over here. This is 2015, August. So the euro is approaching a 2-year high. Okay, we haven't taken this one out yet, but we're approaching it. So this is 2015. So the market has somewhat of memory there. What's this one? This one's 2016. Okay, so what I'm interested in is I'm interested to see how the euro will react at this level. Also remembering there's my little gap in the market and we've just been on a really strong run. I'm interested to see if we get the correct price action here, if we can get a couple of trades in this direction, or will it just break through and just continue on with its run. Okay, so now this week's going to be an interesting determining week for that, because any indication in those monetary policy statements that are going to be released will sort of dictate what may happen, and we're pretty close to the mark in terms of that area. Let me zoom in. Okay, so there's the hot spot. We're only about 100 pips away from that area, which is nothing in a week where monetary policies will be released. So look, at the moment, Euro USD, I can't find a technical reason to short this. Not yet. So what I'm favoring is wait for it to come up to us, if it comes up, of course, and if we get the correct price action reversal patterns in this zone, then yes, we're looking to sell into the Euro USD. Okay, for that to happen, we could creep up during the week, and then by the time the policy statement comes out, it could deliver the news exactly to produce the reversal. So let's just see what happens. I cannot see a long either. We tried to take one in this area, tried to look for it again there in this way, but it didn't come about. So Euro USD, let's wait till we hit that rooftop and let's see what happens. Moving along, GBP USD. Emil, question on the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar could be set tomorrow. You need to wait for the price action reversal. We need to wait for the current candle, this one here, to finish, and let's see what it produces. If it becomes an inside candle, then we can place a pending order to trade on the way down. Okay, if you're not familiar with the price action method, whoever has invited you to this class, or whoever your account manager is, ask them to give you access to the CSC portal, and you'll find the videos in there that will show it. Okay, all right, GBP USD. Who thinks this is a trade right now? Yes for yes, and for no, question mark for I do not know. Okay, is this a breakout trade, guys? What do we think? Is it a breakout trade? Let me help you, guide you a little bit better. Is it a breakout trade? Okay, the answer is yes. If you're a breakout trader, this is definitely a trade. Okay, the problem with the breakout, and I see some of the people that have answered, I'm looking at your names, and I know that you're price action traders, and you've been with me for a long time, and I'm actually surprised that some of you have said no. So perhaps some of you are suffering from the same issue that I have. This is a breakout trade, but for some reason, I used to be a breakout trader, and somewhere along the line, I stopped doing it, or I started to do it less and less and less. This is what you would call a classic breakout trade. Look, this candle defines what classically is correct. Okay, so the fear here, the fear in us is that the market's already come so far, surely it's not going to continue to keep going. That's our mentality. And now typically what you might see is this might now just keep on going up here, and then you go back and go, oh yeah, why didn't I trade that? But that's just the way that it goes. So shall we have a vote? Shall we trade this? Yes or no? Some people are saying wait for the pullback. Okay, so a breakout trader does not wait for the pullback. So you'd be tracing what you would be trading there is testing if this resistance now becomes support. Okay, Alan's asking me why trade this and not the Aussie USD. Okay, so the Aussie USD was when I had that line across there. Is that what you're asking me, Alan? Yes? Yes. Okay. I didn't trade that because I wasn't doing the class on that day. That's the basic answer. So, and as far as the trading challenge is concerned, I said that I wasn't trading breakouts in the challenge. I made that clear. Everybody's aware of that. Like, that's just my rules. Remember, the trading challenge, guys, is whatever your rules are. My rules are that I was trading reversal patterns on pattern trading, support, etc., and I wasn't doing breakouts. So that's the reason why I haven't traded. Now, I happen to be doing the class right now, and it's set up for us. So I'm asking the question, do we want to trade it? Yes or no? If I trade this, this will not be a trading challenge trade because it doesn't apply to, well, it's not part of my trading challenge rules. Okay, but I'm happy to trade it just for fun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trade it. All right, so technically I can just jump in on this right now. So let me talk you through the trade. So I'm on a live account, so I'm actually going to take a small trade because my fear factor does, etc., etc. Let me just measure some things out. Give me one moment. I'll put you on hold. Let me measure, and I'll suss this trade out. 1 second. Okay, so if we were going to trade this, the first logical place that I can place my stop would be here. Okay, just underneath this candle here, and we might go anywhere between, say, 5 or 5. It's up to you. I normally go between 5 and 10 pips underneath. Now remember, when you trade breakouts, your expected target, usually this is the distance, this is the target level. Let me just shrink this a little bit more so we can see it a bit better. So whatever this distance is typically the way that you would trade a breakout. So you would be aiming for something up around there. Now my entry's here, my stop is here, so this would put this trade at about 1.3, I reckon. 1.3 to 1. Does everybody understand what I mean? So let's say this is this distance here is 1. This distance here is about 1.3. Okay? So that's how it would go. If some of you may want to wait for it to pull back a little bit and grab it as a pending order, it's up to yourself. I'm just going to go straight in. Now my stop's going to be about 280. To make this trade work, I'll risk $100 on it. Give me a second. Just double check the account that I'm in. Yep. Okay, and let me just bring across a mini terminal. Okay, if you don't know how to use the mini terminal, ask us. We can help you, but you can just watch me do it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter at market, and I'm going to risk $100 here. My stop's about, let me just measure it again. I'm going to make it 285, 288, and I'm going to go 1.3. So here we go. I'll click on the little yellow button here. This window pops up. I'm buying. When I go fixed lot, I'm going to go fixed cash. I'm going to risk 100 on it. My stop in pips is going to be 288, I said, and I said I'm going to go 1.3. So 288 times 1.3 is 375. And here we go. I'm going in live. Okay, and there you can see the trade is exactly how I drew it out. There's my stop, there's my target, and we're hoping to go up there. My target puts me at about 130, very close to 135. Before 135 makes me happy. Okay, so and let's just see what happens. So this is not a trading challenge trade because it's a breakout trade, but it's still a trade for any breakout traders that are out there. Someone's making a comment. It's also good on a T-chaser. I'm sure it is actually. Yeah, this will actually be it'll be a setup as a T-chaser trade as well. Thank you, Simon, for that. And what size did I trade? Let's see. So it's 0.02, which will give me that roughly that $100 risk. Okay. All right, let me get rid of that chart now. I don't need it. Let's move along. US yen. Okay, who took this trade? This is the trade that I was talking about. In last week's video, I had a line across here somewhere, and I was trying to trade these two, or somewhere along the line, I think I was trying to trade these down there. Oh, hang on, let me just draw this better because some new people might be thinking, well, why did he have a line over there? The line was across here. Okay, and let me zoom in. And it nearly gave us this a trade here, but it broke up. So when I did the video last week, we go Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday here. So I was on this candle here. So during that video, I had to go back and check it because my staff did not believe me, and I was a bit disappointed. So I'm not making it up. I thought I was going crazy. And what I did was I deleted that line and I drew this line. And I know that I did it because the trade's in my account and it's already hit target. So we ended up getting an engulfing setup there. Okay. And I believe someone asked me a question somewhere. I don't remember where. It was on an email and they asked me, I think they asked me about this specific trade. They said, how come the fractal is not here when this candle had started? And the reason is, I don't remember who it was, but someone asked me, the fractal's not there, so should I take the trade or not? When you trade an engulfing candle, the fractal will not be there because it's looking really at a 5 candle sequence. When this candle finished over here and this one over here started, that's when the fractals popped up. So the engulfing candle is always a little bit of a higher risk because if this candle ended up going straight through, well then it's not a double top at all. There'd be no fractal there, and you'd be thinking like, well, why did I take this trade? So very important to note that. Okay, so the engulfing is a little bit of a higher risk. It's part of my trading rules, so that's okay. So this is a trade. So if you traded this correctly, that's your entry. There's your stop, and you can clearly see we've made 2 to 1 quite easily, and it didn't take long at all. Can I get a show of hands? Who took this trade as a trading challenge trade, or who took this trade full stop? While you answer, I'm just going to quickly check one of these questions that someone just asked me. The question, can I just, if you Shung, if you're there, which chart are you referring to? Euro USD, I'm guessing. Oh, GBP USD. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, I just Someone's asking me a question about a channel here. I think I can see what you... Let me just zoom in a bit more. Give me one moment. I saw this one. It's not the best channel. Either way, oh, let me just grab it better. I don't like this point in the channel. I'm missing too much data there. So these are good. These are good. These are good. But this one here is worrying me. So I'm not considering this as a channel. Okay, so there you go. Sorry, I saw that question late. Okay, so that's on the GBP USD. All right, so okay, US yen looks like no one took the trade. Oh, I'm a bit disappointed because I put it out there. I thought everybody would have taken this one. Okay, we move on. US yen, best trade will be continuation in this direction if we get an inside candle off this two candle setup. Okay, so you need to wait for this one. Basically as a trend continuation in this direction. That's the best trade. What's the only thing that I can see at the moment. Let's wait and see what happens. Now, be aware that if it does set up, just measure out how much distance. Let's say the trigger point is there and this is your stop. You know, if this has obviously already been resistance, so if these two distances are equal, it gets a bit touchy. Okay, if this top distance is smaller, definitely then stay off the trade. Okay, because there's not enough. Your risk reward is not correct for the trade. Okay, euro yen. We'll move along. Let me just check. The euro yen's been one of those charts that has not been really nice. It continues to do so. Is there a trade right now, euro yen? Yes or no, guys? Split decision at the moment. A few more people to... Okay, the answer is yes, there is a trade. Are we in trend? The first question. Let me ask you, are we in trend? It's unanimous. Everybody says we are in trend. Okay, so according to our rules, with the markets going up and we pull back, and look at this. Inside candles, okay? So that's a setup. All right, so what triggers it? If we break, we're in. All right, so let me just load it up. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna trade this one. Hopefully we trigger. Let me just measure a couple of things on my piece of paper over here. 1 second. $45. 110 and 2 to 1. Okay, let me just bring my mini terminal across to this chart. And I'll talk you through it. Okay, I'm going to put a full trade on this one, and what I want is it's going to be a buy stop. and I want to trigger 45 pips away from where I currently am. I've already sized it up. I'm going to risk 250 on this, and my stop's going to be 110. I've already measured it. I'll explain through after I trigger, after I place the trade, and my target's going to be 2 to 1, 220. I'm all loaded, ready to go, place the order. Let's see if the order looks correct. It definitely does. Let me talk you through it now. Okay, so what I've done is at the break of the inside candle, I've placed an order to buy. Okay, if the market goes up and triggers me in, well then I want it to continue to that top line, which is my 2 to 1 target. My stop goes below the last dip as such. Alright, any questions on that? And let me just see what size trade I've just placed. 0.2. Okay, so it's a much bigger trade. I'm risking more. I'm risking 250 on this particular trade, and my stop distance is a little bit shorter as well. Okay, there you have it. Euro yen. We've placed a pending order. Now, if there's anybody new, if the market comes down and breaks the bottom of the candle, not the stop, okay, they're very close together, but the bottom of this candle, if it breaks it, then you've got to cancel your order out of the system. Okay? Okay, let's carry on. Kiwi Dollar. Okay, Kiwi Dollar, I've actually placed this one in this morning's daily call. Did everybody see it? Who's got an order placed for the Kiwi Dollar? Yes, we all do. Okay, I'm going to place it again on this particular account. So that everybody can see how I do it. I'm bringing a mini terminal over. Let me zoom in. Okay, from the current level where we are right now, let me just take some numbers down. I want to trigger at about 34 pips. And my stop's going to be about 76. And I'm going to go for 2 to 1. Okay, here we go. So I'll kick the little yellow. This time it's a sell stop. Okay, now I said we're going to trigger at 34. Let me just push it out because I think I just measured a bit wrong. So let's go 36. Full trade. I'm going to risk 250. My stop is going to be, let's go 78. And my target times 2 makes it 156. Okay, and hit place. Does it look correct? Yes, it does. Let me talk you through it. There's the break of this candle. There's the stop where I want it, and we're trying to get to this level here, which is my 2 to 1 target. Okay, so now I didn't explain the setup. I'm just sorry, I forgot. I just assumed that everybody watched the video this morning. It's the market's been to this level. It's been there a couple of times. It's still kind of there. It's hanging around, and we've produced a really nice inside candle, which is that the two green ones. Okay, they're inside of each other. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to trade. If the market goes down and breaks the bottom of the green one, we want to sell. And of course, if it goes and breaks the top of there, then we need to make sure we cancel our pending order. Okay, so there you have it. Hubert, your comment is related to the Kiwi dollar. I'm just seeing it right now. Okay, Hubert, the last candle doesn't need the fractal. The way an inside candle works is this candle, let me point to it, this one here is the high point, and so it carries the fractal. The next candle that comes along, if it's an inside candle, then by default it will not have the fractal. Okay, so that's the definition. So this candle here doesn't have the fractal, and that's exactly what we want. So now what we want to do is we want to trade the bottom of it. No, that's incorrect, Hubert. This last candle is lower than this one. Otherwise it would have the fractal. Measure it. It may look the high of this candle is on this particular account 73.65, and the high of this candle is 73.67. Okay, this candle is higher than this one. Okay, it's the definition, otherwise the fractal will not be there. Alright, okay, so we've placed our order on the Kiwi Dollar. Moving along, US CAD. CAD's been on a roll. I have these zones marked out. It just shot straight through it. Let's see what we have next. What's next? Let's okay. We're at another level, but okay, so this level here, and we're there again. This is not really what I would call a significant level. This is a significant level, okay, because the market came all the way down to there and then started to shoot away. This one kind of zigzagged along, and it's had many like other levels. So all these ones here, they're not as significant as, say, this is a significant level, okay, and these are significant levels. Even this one has some significance, but when you're moving along the way that this is, this, they're not that important. I don't usually like to trade off them. Now, we are on one right now. Let me just look at what the setups are like, just because I want to have a look. But I am more important if we get to this one, and I'll draw that across my chart as well. Okay, if I get to that second one, this one down here, that is an important level. Okay, in this has made a lower low than this one, so we're still going to wait. So there's no setups here. The only thing that could, because this has got a lower low, the only thing that could happen is if this becomes an engulfing candle like this, all right, then you could possibly attempt to trade off this level. I don't like it, so I'm not going to suggest it. What I will suggest is if this pulls back something and then gives you a setup there, then let's go for it again. Okay, that's the higher probability trade when the market's been so much in one direction. All right, so US CAD, we just keep breaking lows and new territory, so we'll just wait and see. Let's move to gold. Okay, gold, I drew the line out, but we didn't quite come to it. We didn't get close enough, so no trades. What I can see right now is you might get an opportunity to trade it as such, on the assumption that we are starting a new trend. Okay. Other than that, there's nothing else on gold, so you need to wait for the current candle, or maybe have a look at another two candles. Let's just see what it gives, what it provides, and if we can possibly get a setup for that. So that's gold. Pretty easy this week, nothing much happening. Oil, okay, the channel is good. We have to wait. We're nearly there. Let's wait to see what happens here. Okay, that's the trade that I'm interested. Until then, no, nothing. Okay. All right, there you have it. We've completed the analysis. Let me go back and recap. If you have any questions, please type them in and I'll address them for you. Aussie Dollar. We're waiting for the current candle to finish. We may have an inside candle based off a key level. Okay. You can see there, 1, 1, and 2. Alright, so let's wait for the current candle to complete. Let's see if we can trigger a trade. Euro USD, we've drawn in a key level as well for the Euro USD, so we need to wait to reach it. Until then, we don't have any setups. GBP USD, against all the yucky feelings that we have, we've taken a trade. I've taken a lower risk on this one because just me and breakouts, they just feel funny. So, but nevertheless, and we're already in the negative, so let's just see how this plays out. But technically, it's a correct breakout trade. Okay, I understand if you're not a breakout trader, don't take it. I'm doing this one purely for the exercise, and I've taken a lower risk on this trade. US yen. Okay, we've just completed a trade. Well, I have. Looks like no one else took it. And we could get a possibly a trend continuation if the trend is changing. So look for an inside candle to look for a buy. Possibly you need to wait 2 days for 2 candles to complete. Euro yen, we've placed a pending order, inside candle on trend continuation type trade. Kiwi dollar, we've placed a pending order as a resistance trade, inside candles to sell. CAD, we're doing nothing. Gold was nothing. WTI, nothing. So there you have it. Any final questions, guys, before we call it up? It can be off topic. Doesn't matter what it is. I try to allocate this time for you guys to assist. So if anyone has any questions, I'll wait a moment, give you an opportunity to type it in, and then I'll address it for you. I just want to have a look at the ASX and the DAX while I wait for you guys. Give me one moment. Oh, Aussie 200. It's a nice converging triangle there. If anybody wants to track it, it's getting ready for a sharp movement. Okay, that will be a breakout trade, by the way. Okay, and the DAX. Are we at historic highs, or we are at really high highs? Okay. Ooh. If there's any index traders, I've just drawn in this channel. It's still not a channel yet, but if it bounces off there, then this will be the first trade that you could possibly look, and it looks all right. Okay, so just something to track. David, the ASX, it could break either way. Like it's set up for a breakout, so the direction of the breakout doesn't really matter to us, as long as you just catch it. So yeah, so all of a sudden the sun's coming through this screen and I've got heaps of glare on my screen. I can hardly see it. Okay, so it's ready to break out. So the breakout could be either that way or it could be in this direction. Okay? Someone's asked a question, how do we make a trailing stop to follow a fractal automatically? You would have to get someone to write a specific EA for you. Let me have a play with MT4 Supreme. I'm not sure if MT4 Supreme can do it, but I'll have a quick look, okay? And I can get back to you. All right? But I've never tried to do that, but I'll have a little bit of a play with it. Okay. Any final questions, guys? All right, let's call it a day. Don't forget, watch the daily call. I try to find a chart of the day for us all to look at, to trade, to sort of spur the interest and develop your learning. So I look forward to getting any feedback that you have. I'll answer all your questions if you do have any. Have a great trading week, and I guess I will speak to you tomorrow for the daily call. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.